Coming up on Mountain News this morning, hospitals in our region received some funding to help people receive health care while staying at home. And as COVID-19 numbers continue to decline here in the Commonwealth, one Kentucky hospital relaxes some of its restrictions.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you. It's Wednesday. I'm Dakota Makris. It's just before 5 o'clock. It's a cold start to the morning. Let's head over to Brandon for a look at your forecast. And Brandon, the fog is back. Well, I guess it's kind of been back. Or
yeah,
it's been around, but I guess this morning it really is quite noticeable.
Yes, exactly, because it's very thick and dense this morning. I was actually sitting at the red light across from the station and couldn't even see the station. That's how thick it was this morning. So I actually,
well, we're here.
Exactly, we made it. We made it here, but it is cold this morning. I broke out the toboggan for the first time this year, and that's unusual, but you know, got to have something to protect your head there a little bit. All right, let's get into it. Frost advisory first for a few counties there until 9 o'clock. That stretches from Rowan County down to Pulaski County, all those counties right there along the western edge of our coverage area. So we're going to continue to see that back into central Kentucky, even into parts of southern Ohio. 32, Irvin, Wise got there right to freezing. Monticello too, 36 in Harlan. Looks like the warmest spot in the region is Pikeville, hanging on to 40 there. I'd say they'll be in the 30s before too long. And remember how it was double digits colder yesterday from the day before? Well, it's double digits colder again from yesterday. So again, 18 degrees colder in Hazard this morning, 13 degrees colder Prestonsburg, London, Williamsburg, Somerset, Middlesboro, and Wise. Little extra? Nope. We need max warming on that coffee meter this morning. Make sure that you've got all of the coffee that you can get on your way out the door, and maybe even pull out your toboggans this morning. Out the door forecast. It's going to get better. Sunshine's going to be out a little bit later on. A few clouds mixed in with it. Maybe more sunshine by itself later in the day as we top out right around 59 this afternoon. Dakota?
All right, Brandon, thank you. Nancy Klaus Mitchell died on Sunday. Born and raised in Corbin, she served as the first woman elected to the Corbin City Commission and served 2 terms as Corbin's vice mayor. She also held leadership positions at Union College, the Kentucky Board of Tax Appeals, and the KCEOC Community Action Partnership. Her visitation is this afternoon from 12 to 4 p.m. Her funeral will be right after. She was 73 years old. Appalachian Regional Healthcare is getting more than $500,000 from the USDA to enhance its telemedicine program. ARH requested 14 carts for inpatient settings and 19 for outpatient. Outpatient carts connect locations for things like specialty care. Telehealth is also helpful for those that cannot easily get to larger care facilities or do not feel comfortable going to the doctor in person right now.
You know, if a patient is, you know, they have limited mobility, say, you know, they have trouble walking around, or, you know, they have car trouble and they can't get to their provider, you know, they have transportation issues, you know, that is really what telemedicine is designed for.
Now, the carts allow ARH to connect some of the smaller critical access hospitals to specialists at larger facilities that some patients may not have had the opportunity to see before. Well, Governor Andy Beshear wants to use $400 million in federal pandemic aid. The governor wants to reward healthcare workers, grocery store employees, factory workers, first responders, and others who continue to show up during the shutdown. Governor Beshear asked lawmakers to appoint members to a group to discuss who would qualify and how much each person should get. But Republican leaders want to wait until the legislature reconvenes to have those talks.
The Democratic caucus in the House and the Senate sent us names on Friday. The Republican majority of each said no, thank you. You know, it's certainly something I wish that they would have been willing to do.
Now, the governor went on to say he believes people who continue to work through the pandemic deserve appreciation and encouragement, and that these bonuses will help. Well, due to the reduced number of COVID-19 inpatients and the reduced number of COVID numbers in Laurel County, St. Joseph London has relaxed several of its visitation restrictions. Those inpatient statuses, the inmates can have 2 designated visitors. However, it is preferred that visitors be there 1 at a time. Now, new moms are able to have 2 designated visitors at all times, and as for the emergency department, patients are allowed to have 1 visitor.
It's a great feeling because we know the best thing for patients when they're ill, recovering from disease or an injury or surgery, is to have their loved ones with them. So that's the best part of therapy, is to have the people that they love around them. So we're happy to start to offer that to patients again.
Now, these patients can have visitors at any point and for however long they'd like during a 24-hour period, but masks are still recommended to be worn. Well, during the 2021 Business Appreciation Awards in Hazard yesterday, top health officials in our region were honored for their work during the pandemic. Public Health Director Scott Lockard and the Kentucky River District Health Department, along with ARH, were recognized. Leaders say they were honored to be chosen for the Healthcare Warrior Award.
It's really nice whenever your local business community recognizes the hard work that you've done. The best way to improve health status in a community is to improve the socioeconomic status. So we're big supporters of our local business community.
Now, Perry County 911 and Perry County Ambulance Authority were awarded the Business and Community Appreciation Award for their work in our community. You can see a list of all the award winners on our website. Well, AEP announced yesterday that it plans to sell Kentucky Power to Liberty Utilities. While the sale has been announced, it must be approved by regulators. AEP expects the transaction to close in the second quarter of 2022. The company assured customers that they do not need to take action at this time or worry about disruptions. For the time being, they should continue to report power outages and make payments to Kentucky Power. Kentucky has the second highest job opening rate in the nation, with 167,000 unfilled positions as of August. That's more than 8% of the state workforce. Only Alaska had a higher rate of unfilled jobs. Kentucky ranked 14th in the nation for the highest quit rate. The data shows 84,000 workers quit their jobs in August. This is what Governor Andy Beshear had to say about the latest statistics.
It may be that people are looking for a different environment. It may be other jobs have opened up. It's going to require that the private sector get a little creative and also in many instances try to improve conditions, maybe even pay.
Kentucky Chamber of Commerce officials say it is a workers' market and that it is not likely to change anytime soon. Well, thank you so much for getting your Wednesday started with us here on Mountain News this morning. When we come back, with winter not too far away, healthcare leaders remind people to stay cautious to prevent another surge of COVID.
Some of you could be waking up with some frost this morning, but sunshine will warm us up quite nicely later today on the latest forecast in about 3 minutes.